Good afternoon, my dolly friends. It is Gina, and I am from Little Midwest Reborns and Dolls. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for spending some time with me this afternoon. In front of you, you will see my beautiful baby, Katie. Katie is a Paradise Galleries doll, and she is the pumpkin spice. I love her little curls. I love her beautiful blue-gray eyes. I love that little smile on her face. She, of course, has her kitty Susan with her. And yes, you've seen that sleeper 1,000 times, but I'm not buying anything, and I have a very limited, especially winter wardrobe. So whenever I feature my dolls, they will be wearing the same outfits, and that's just the way it's going to be. But anyway, I wanted to participate today in Snuggle Sunday, the theme from Lindy Bloom Nursery. It's Snuggle Sunday, like I said, over at Lindy Bloom Nursery by Diane. I'm also going to participate in Shara's 2022 Christmas tag. It has 10 questions to it, and this is from Shara over at Reborn Living Dolls. So I'm going to start with question number 1. Do you put your tree up before December 1st? I used to always put my tree up before December 1st. It became a tradition in my household, the Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving. As I grew up, we always put our tree up. When I was young, when I was a little girl, and we bought, anyway. So yes, we do put it up before the 1st, except that now that I'm widowed, I put it up if I feel like it, and if I don't even put a tree up. Okay. Question number 2. Cut, potted, artificial. Well, growing up when I was very small, we always had a cut tree, a cut real tree. Then they came out with conservation, and this was before they had Christmas tree farms and such. So my parents decided, for conservation's sake, that perhaps buying an artificial tree would be better, and that even though it was much more expensive than buying a tree off a lot or cutting one down ourselves, which they didn't have Christmas tree farms, so you just went to the lot and bought one. They thought, well, it'll pay for itself in a few years. So our artificial tree more than paid for itself. It was a great big, about a 10-foot tree. My mom and dad, my dad always liked the tree to just about touch our ceiling in our house. My mother loved the long needle pines, so they bought an artificial that looked like it had long pine tree needles on it, and it was quite tall. Now, for myself, I have had where I've gone to the Christmas tree farm and actually cut the tree down. I have had artificial trees. I currently have an artificial tree. I would really like to get a big one. I don't really have space for it. Well, maybe I could. I don't know. At any rate, what I have right now is a little 4-foot tabletop tree, and I think that's part of my, I don't feel like putting it up much because I don't get that much thrill out of it. But what I would love to do and have always wanted to do is have a potted tree. So I am considering buying a potted tree this year, going ahead and decorating it. Yes, it will be small, like my little 2-foot artificial tree. But I was thinking maybe I could plant it in my mom and dad's backyard. But I have to check with my parents first, because living in the condo, I don't know that they'd let me plant it here. And but I've always dreamed of having a potted tree that I would plant after Christmas. Okay. Do I have a themed tree or an eclectic tree? When my children grew up, and as I grew up, our tree was always eclectic. All different colored balls and shapes of ornaments and types and garland and but now I have a more themed tree. And when I say themed, it's the colors I like on my tree are white and blue and gold. If there's a little silver or a touch of red, that's okay too. Um, but I kind of theme it as to be white and gold and blue. So all the ornaments are in those colors. There might be one or two, like I do have, that aren't those colors, but that's okay too. Do I have special or meaningful ornaments? Yes, and that goes back to the not all of my ornaments are exactly themed. My meaningful ornaments are the two that I received. One when my daughter was born that said "Baby's First Christmas," and one when my son was born that said "Baby's First Christmas." Now, of course, my daughter's ornament is pink, and that doesn't go with my blue and gold and white, but it goes on the tree every year. Also, years and years and years ago, I had thought that the Lennox Christmas ornaments, I don't know if any of you remember a store. Well, if you're in St. Louis, you'll probably remember a store called Famous Bar. Then later Macy's bought it, and so now it's Macy's, but they sell Lennox Christmas ornaments of all different types. And I could, even on sale, I could never afford more than one Christmas ornament. So for years, I've been collecting those, and I add those to my tree. Add one to my tree each and every year. And like I said, the ones from my children. And then when my late husband and I married, I still have the little wedding bells, and it is trimmed in silver, but that's okay. It's kind of a white porcelain, and similar to the Lennox Christmas ornaments. So those are my special one. Multicolor lights or white lights? Well, we always had multicolor lights, and then I went through a phase where I only wanted white lights. And currently, the tree that I bought that was on sale, that was artificial, just so I could put something up that's 2 feet, came with multicolored lights. So right now I have multicolor. I'm not a big fan of blinking lights. I know a lot of people love that. I like my tree to be on and it to be steady, maybe because that's what I grew up with. But I've had both. I don't know that I have a preference. I think it just depends on my mood that year at Christmas. How old were you when you stopped believing in Santa? This is number 6. What? What do you mean? There's no Santa. I still believe in Santa. Santa Claus came from St. Nicholas. And no, Santa's real. The spirit of Santa Claus is real. The love and the giving and the kindness and the spreading of God's word. That's all part of Santa. Okay, so I was around 10, and all the kids at school kept talking about, Santa Claus was fake. Santa Claus was not real. And I didn't believe it. And I said, no, you're wrong. And I went home and I asked, and my mother and father said, well, what do you think? And I said, well, I think Santa Claus is real. And they said, well, then he is. So then a few days later, the kids were really teasing me because I believed, and they kept telling me I was silly. So I went home and I said, the kids keep telling me Santa's not real. What should I do? And my mom and dad said, well, it's up to you. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I like to believe. And they said, okay. And they said, but I said, but I think I need to know the truth. And so they said, all right. And so they gently told me that no, Santa Claus was not real, that the spirit of love and giving and kindness and celebrating of Christ's birth was real, but an actual man named Santa Claus was not real. To which I seemingly accepted it very well, went to my bedroom, came back out, my mom said, about 10-15 minutes later, I was in tears, and I said, I'm too little to know there's not a Santa Claus. I want to believe. And they said, okay, then Santa is real. So to this day, I will get a Christmas present under the tree signed Love Mom and Dad. And if I have a stocking or something else, it is always signed Love Santa. Always. Okay, number 7. Do you hang stockings? Yes, I hang stockings. That is one of my favorite thing to do. Always had a stocking for my husband, my kids, myself. I still hang a couple of stockings up. I have a bunch that are really pretty. I don't have enough hangers for the mantle because before I never had a fireplace, so I just used to hang them along the wall. And I used those the little hooks that you can put on the wall and then pull it down. I can't think of the name of them, but they stick onto the wall. Anyway, I did that for a lot of years when my kids were really little. And prior to that, I would just kind of like hang them on a piece of furniture that had a drawer that I could close and keep the stockings in there. But anyway, so special traditions. Number 8, special traditions that you must do. Well, since I've become a widow, I don't do them anymore. Growing up, it was we went to church service and then we came home, and on Christmas Eve, we got to open one Christmas present that was from one another. My husband and I always used to go to a Christmas festival, a local Christmas festival called St. Charles Christmas Traditions in the area where I live. And don't do that anymore. When my children were little, before they went to bed, of course, we always read 2 Christmas stories. One was, 'twas the poem, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and the other was the story of Christmas, about the birth of Christ. And then as they got older, the tradition that we started was on Christmas Eve or during the day, we would each pick our favorite little Christmas book story, and they were old enough to read out loud themselves, and we each read one of those books. So those were things we did, but my kids are long grown and gone and in their 30s and in their own houses, and so I don't really follow any special traditions anymore, and my husband's gone, so that's that. Number 9, do you open presents on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Always on Christmas Day, sometimes after Christmas now, with my daughter seeing myself and then her dad and my son's dad, the man I was married to before my second husband. Yeah, we could be opening Christmas presents on the 1st of January. It's just whenever we can get together and celebrate the holiday. But generally speaking, it's Christmas Day. 90% of the time, Christmas Day. And then it says, do you leave your outdoor Christmas lights up all year? And the answer to that's number 10. And the answer to that is no, I don't. And the reason I don't is I don't put outside lights on my condo. Even when I had a home, my ex-husband used to put up the outdoor Christmas lights, and then he always took them down. And then, like now in the condo I'm in, I live on the 2nd story, and in the house I grew up in, instead of actually stringing the lights outside, once I was real little, my mother always bought those candles in the window, and my parents put them on timers. They still have them. And I have battery operated candles in the window, and mine have a timer I set a time that I want them to go on each candle every night, and they're fairly consistent. I mean, and so yeah, I put the candles in the windows, and then when Christmas is over, I take them down. So, and those are my quote unquote outdoor lights, even though they're inside the house. So that is it. Thank you, Shara, for this fun Christmas tag, 2022 Christmas tag. I really enjoyed doing it. And I hope you all enjoyed looking at my beautiful Rose, all snuggy and warm in her soft velour sleeper. And and holding her kitty. And I'm going to be taking, did I say Rose? That's my Katie. Oh my gosh. I think I called her Rose. That's Katie. Anyway, I am going to be taking Katie and a cup of warm tea, and I'm gonna take Katie's kitten, Susan, and we are going to have a cup of tea and sit and snuggle on Snuggle Sunday. Everyone have a wonderful, blessed day. Remember that no matter what, God loves you. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.